Sorry about that. I got all kinds of camera issues. Have for a while. You know, I'm a one-man band, BLANCH. So back to the BLANCH hypothesis. Abelson at the Philadelphia shipyard, it's right there. It's right there where Vet Stadium was built on the marsh right over there. He was the liquefaction guy. I mean, this was in the Manhattan Project. This was in the experimental stage. You know, the centrifuge process, we knew where we centrifugal spin and we use hex gas. He was using a liquefaction process. Experiment with it at the Philadelphia Naval Yard. He was experiment with all kinds of release of all kinds of different radioactive isotopes. He's the father of neptunium, which is a heavy metal byproduct, which is, I mean, deadly. Look, the process that he was using let off so much stuff that we don't even know everything that it let off to this day. But what we do know is half-life is literally hundreds of thousands of years. Radioactive, we know there was at least one accident there. A couple guys were killed, supposedly. He was using a liquefaction process we don't even use now. You know, we use the gassing process. That's for nuclear energy reactors, which is a nasty. When we spin it, collide them together, you know, which creates free radicals, including plutonium, neptunium, all kinds of, you know, post-Fukushima. We got livermorium. We've got, you know, californium. Well, that was even before. You know, I'm the guy that hypothesized Fuktonium, which is I was coming off Fukushima. So the cancer cluster there is heartbreaking. I'm a baseball guy. My favorite player was always Eddie Murray. I picked the right one, and that '83 series is still my favorite. You know, Mike Boddicker shut him down, but the Phillies have always had great teams and great players. I mean, always. I always liked the Flying Hawaiian. Love that kid. He was so good that year, and you know, of course, I was rooting for Joe in that Blue Jays series, but it breaks my heart to see this happening to these young men. I mean, I always was a big Gary Carter because I was an Expos fan then in those days before the strike. You know, and I kind of swore off baseball before the strike. I was friends with Tony Gwynn. He and I born at the same time. We got cancer the same time. I love Tony. And we died the same thing that I had at the same time. So my hypothesis is that's what it is. You know, it's not the gun, because that would be happening at all kinds of stadiums. It's AstroTurf. Oh, I guess it's possible. Why didn't it happen in Kansas City? They were playing on AstroTurf. And, you know, I don't know. I don't think so. Yes. This is where the experiments were happening. The only ones in the world were happening right there at the Philadelphia Naval Yard. The stadium's built right there on the marsh. The half-life of these isotopes are literally hundreds of thousands of years, and they're deadly. I mean, that's an arguable fact. That's Abelson. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. That's his words. You know, he's the guy. You know, you're talking one of the kingpins of the Manhattan Project. Well, you're talking the guy on liquefaction of the centrifuge process too. You're in U-238 to U-235. He's the guy. You know, and so it's what I think it is. I mean, it's what I believe it is. And you know, again, more work needs to be done. But I'm just throwing out the hypothesis, you know, and I'm a fool to do all your dirty work. And I do all the dirty work while I'm full of cancer. You think about the body of work that I've accomplished in my life with no funding. I have no funding. I had to go rogue, and I went freelance. I broke away from the university. I used to be a, you know, university lord at one time. You know, I wasn't tenured. I went rogue. I'm a lowly peasant. You know, I'm a freelance research PhD. That's what I am. I mean, and I do the work. Extraordinary evidence, look at my typo work. Look at all my work. The work that I do, I believe in the evidence. I believe that's his term.